Which apartments should not be bought in Dubai? Why is buying resale property considered a bad idea for most people? And how do real estate agencies want to deceive you? By watching this video until the end, you will learn about all the main pitfalls of the Dubai real estate market. So, are you ready? Let's go! So, first and foremost, do not buy apartments for which you do not have the money. As amusing as it may sound to some, this is the most common and most dangerous mistake you can make. This happens simply because real estate agents push their clients to it. For example, if you have a small budget, people push you to buy an expensive apartment by making an initial payment. Or even split the budget into multiple units, and you'll probably find yourself in a situation where you won't have the means to pay for this letdown. So don't listen to those who tell you that you can resell the apartment at any time, even after 3 months, and manage to earn money on it. They lure you into such schemes by presenting it as leverage. In other words, you enter into installments with the opportunity to profit from reselling a more expensive unit in percentage terms, which will naturally yield a higher margin. The main risk here is if you don't have the funds to make another installment payment, the developer will simply take your apartment and not refund any money to you. And people often just don't know this in advance. That's why I'm warning you about it. This is the biggest mistake you can make. Next, do not buy apartments in questionable locations. That is, in some new, promising, developing areas where even though there is a new coastline, but around there is still desert, there is nothing there. They only promise to build a garden city. And maybe you can actually make more money from this than from places that are already priced. But it will all depend on how these promises will come true. After all, they will often depend not only on the developer who will build, let's say, one house, and then, around the city, how much money to invest there. And this applies, for instance, to certain neighboring emirates. This pertains to several recently discovered deep locations within Dubai. We can refer to it as such. And of course, you can get in there cheaper. They promise greater growth there, but I will repeat that this is very risky. You don't know what will happen next. The market must develop at the same rapid pace over many years for these new desert areas to be fully built up. It's worth leaving your choice on those areas, locations already in demand, already established. There will still be growth. You will still make a profit, but you will have the maximum opportunity to calculate when and for how much you can sell the property. The most top locations are, of course, Business Bay. First and foremost, I will highlight it. There are many other areas to talk about, but recently all the most clear projects that my experienced investors are getting into are here in Business Bay, where, by the way, I live myself. So be careful with this. Don't buy resale, I'll tell you. Well, okay, there are indeed options that come up at interesting prices on the secondary market, but you need to be here, react to this, understand. You must see this apartment in person, because if it's an old building, and in Dubai, let's say 15-20 years is already very old, from the outside it will be beautiful, glassy, like a skyscraper. But inside these past construction eras, these old houses, they are already morally outdated to the point that inside they simply start dividing apartments into some kind of cells, they make partitions, and then settle 10-20 people in one apartment. Indians or Pakistanis, and as a result you may not even realize this, especially if you are conducting the deal remotely. You may not see this for some reason, thus you'll later face the fact that you have a completely illiquid asset, and where you wouldn't want to live. Selling will be tough, but if you need something closer to completion, or if you want to keep an eye on a truly advantageous option below market value, there's an excellent chance. There is a thing called cancellation, which is from the English word cancel, meaning termination. It refers to the cancellation of deals when those unfortunate investors who couldn't meet the installment payment are terminated from the transaction, and these units come out for consolation. And you can frequently purchase them at the initial price, at the identical price they were purchased at 1 year ago. And on my Instagram, I have a section called Current, where I highlight such urgent sales. Either assignments from people who want to quickly resell, forced to do so, or consolation from developers at very favorable prices below market value. So, naturally, click on the link in the description, subscribe, and follow these posts. Do not purchase inexpensive apartments. Well, I mean, as I already said, it's better not to buy cheap properties in remote locations. Also, people sometimes make the mistake of splitting their budget, having a substantial good budget with which they could buy a nice apartment, even a luxury one. Drawing on their, well, previous, let's say, Russian Moscow experience in the real estate market, such people often fragment their budget by buying small units, well, a few of them, and think that they will earn more from renting them out, for example. In Dubai, it doesn't work like that. Let me explain why. There's a strong social hierarchy here. There are both very impoverished people and extremely wealthy people living in this area, and it is reckless to target those who are poor, who have little, who are not willing to pay a lot of money for rent on this scale of housing. Do not aim for them. So, when purchasing small units, tiny things, who do you want to purchase this for? For a wealthy person, he doesn't need it, but for this less affluent population, their incomes are so low that the income gap here is such that they won't bring you any benefit. This consolidated income will not become larger to you than it would if you were to rent out an expensive apartment instead of purchasing. You will be paid more for it, in percentage terms as well, and you will be able to earn more from resale as the luxury segment increases in price faster. So, friends, if you have a budget for buying a nice, cool, and expensive unit, then that's what you should go for. No need to skimp. And finally, another very serious mistake that many of you make. I know this very well because I work with clients remotely. All my clients, well, almost all of them are in Russia. And I know that Russian real estate agencies, well, Moscow agencies, have also started offering property in Dubai. And how do they try to attract clients? By claiming it's supposedly safer, more reliable. You visit a real estate agency in your hometown, have a meeting, watch a presentation, and sometimes make payments on the spot. This is what they are trying to attract. But friends, they are not in Dubai. They are usually poorly informed about the real market situation in Dubai. They frequently in general demonstrate how this scheme operates, endorse certain projects. And those projects that are illiquid, which are here in Dubai, don't sell as well. They don't sell them, while top projects sell out in a matter of hours. And those developers who find it challenging to sell their project, they attempt to collaborate with agencies that will promote these offers to you and demonstrate that they are of high quality. You in Moscow discuss Dubai property. None of you, neither you nor the realtor there, see what he is talking about. So of course you risk, well, just getting a worse deal, receiving poor service in selecting a project, and with you was Danil about Dubai. Goodbye everyone, and see you next time.